There's a quiet kind of strength that grows inside you long before anyone else notices it. You don't wake up one morning suddenly transformed. You grow one decision at a time, one boundary at a time, one moment of self-control at a time. Emotional strength isn't loud, it's not dramatic, it's not a performance. Most people don't see it happening, not even you. But if you pay attention, there are signs, clear, powerful signs that you're becoming emotionally stronger than you ever thought you could be. Here are 9 of them. 1. You no longer react. Instantly. There comes a moment in life when you realize your emotions no longer control you the way they used to. You don't explode at every insult. You don't panic at every inconvenience. You don't rush into decisions just because you feel something strongly in the moment. Instead, you've developed something rare, the pause, that tiny gap between what happens and how you choose to respond. Most people never develop it. They live in emotional reflex. Someone says something rude, they lash out. Life doesn't go their way, they complain. Everything triggers them. But you've started choosing your response instead of reacting from impulse. You observe your emotion before acting on it. You ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will this matter tomorrow? What would the wiser version of me do right now? This shift is enormous. The Stoics taught that freedom begins when you stop being a slave to your reactions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And now you're actually living that truth. When the world tries to provoke you, you stay calm. When someone tries to drag you into chaos, you stay grounded. When life throws problems at you, you respond with clarity, not panic. You may not realize it yet, but this self-control is one of the purest signs of emotional strength. The moment you stop reacting instantly, your life begins to change. 2. You don't chase people anymore. There was a time when you feared losing people. You worried about what they thought. You tried to keep everyone close, even those who didn't value you. You would explain yourself, justify yourself, and fight to be understood. But something inside you has shifted. You no longer run after people who walk away. You no longer try to convince someone to see your worth. You no longer beg for loyalty, attention, or validation. You've learned one of the hardest truths in life. If someone truly wants to be in your life, you will never have to chase them. This realization didn't make you cold, it made you wise. Because chasing people does not create love. It creates imbalance, it creates desperation, it creates a relationship where your value is placed below theirs. And you finally understood, you deserve to be met halfway. Stoicism teaches that you should invest energy only where it returns peace, clarity, and growth, not where it drains you. Epictetus said, "When someone shows you what they value, see it clearly. Do not ask for more." You have stopped trying to force connections. You allow people the freedom to leave. And in that freedom, you discovered your own. When someone pulls back, you don't panic. You don't take it personally. You don't chase. You simply observe and say, if my presence no longer adds value, I will quietly remove it. And here's the beautiful part. This new mindset attracts better people. People who respect your boundaries. People who recognize your worth without being begged. People who stay because they want to, not because you convince them. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is choosing yourself. And choosing yourself is emotional strength. 3. You protect your peace more fiercely. There was a time when you allowed anything to disturb your mind. Arguments pulled you in. Drama exhausted you. People's opinions shaped your mood. Little things stole your peace without resistance. But now, something has changed. Your peace has become a priority, not a luxury, not a dream, but a daily requirement. You've reached a point where chaos feels heavy, negativity feels toxic, and loud, restless environments drain you faster than anything else. So you stopped entertaining them. You no longer stay in conversations that go nowhere. You step back from people who thrive on conflict. You walk away from situations that don't serve your growth. This isn't you being harsh. This isn't you being distant. This is you understanding that peace is not given, it is protected. Stoics believed that the mind is a sacred space. Marcus Aurelius said, "The tranquility you desire comes when you stop letting others control your emotions." And you've finally begun to live this truth. You protect your energy in ways you didn't before. You avoid unnecessary battles. You leave toxic conversations early. You stop explaining yourself to people who twist your words. You refuse to argue with someone committed to misunderstanding you. You value silence more than winning debates. You've learned that peace is not the absence of noise. It is the ability to walk away from what disturbs your spirit. That decision, that instinct to protect your inner space, is a sign of emotional maturity far beyond what most people reach. When you choose peace over chaos, presence over noise, clarity over confusion, you are becoming stronger. Not loudly, not aggressively, but quietly, in the most powerful way a human can. 4. You care. Less about being understood. There was a period in your life when you tried hard to explain yourself. You wanted people to see your intentions clearly. You wanted them to know your heart, your reasons, your struggles, your truth. You didn't want to be misunderstood, so you over-explained. You defended yourself. You clarified every detail just to avoid being judged the wrong way. But now, you've reached a new level of emotional strength. You no longer feel the need to be understood by everyone. You've realized something liberating. People understand you based on their maturity, not your clarity. Their perception of you is shaped by their wounds, their biases, their insecurities, their assumptions, their emotional capacity, not by your explanations. And because of that, you stop trying to control how others see you. You now understand this simple truth. If someone wants to misunderstand you, nothing you say will change their mind. And if someone truly respects you, they won't require long explanations. So you've stopped chasing approval, correcting every rumor, explaining your decisions, justifying your boundaries, begging people to see your side. Stoicism teaches that the opinions of others are outside our control and therefore not worth sacrificing our peace for. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste your energy arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You finally grasp this wisdom. You no longer perform your identity for others. You no longer bend yourself for acceptance. You no longer fear being misjudged. Instead, you choose silence over unnecessary explanations. You choose inner confidence over external validation. You choose to be at peace with who you are, even if others never understand it. This shift is not small, it is monumental, because the day you stop needing everyone's understanding is the day you reclaim your emotional freedom. And emotional freedom is one of the strongest forms of emotional strength. 5. You're more patient with life. There was a time when you rushed everything. You wanted answers immediately. You wanted progress instantly. You wanted life to unfold according to your timeline. Waiting felt unbearable. Silence felt uncomfortable. Slow seasons felt like failure. But emotional strength has a way of slowing you down in the best possible way. You've started to understand that life is not a race. Growth does not happen overnight. Healing cannot be forced. And everything meaningful requires time, consistency, and patience. You now realize that being impatient never made things arrive faster. It only made you suffer unnecessarily. So your relationship with time has changed. You're becoming someone who no longer panics when things take longer than expected, trusts the process, instead of fighting it, lets people reveal their true selves at their own pace, gives yourself permission to grow slowly, understands that delays are not denials, is at peace with progress that is invisible to others. Stoicism teaches that impatience is a form of internal conflict, a refusal to accept the pace of nature. Marcus Aurelius said, "Nature acts slowly, so must you." And now that wisdom is becoming real in your life. You're patient with your goals. You're patient with your healing. You're patient with your self-improvement. You're even patient with the mistakes you still make. Instead of rushing outcomes, you focus on improving your actions. Instead of demanding guarantees, you trust your direction. Instead of forcing life, you flow with it. This kind of patience is not weakness. It is emotional stability. It is inner strength. It is the quiet confidence of someone who knows, what is meant for me will come, not early, not late, but at the right time. Your calmness is not laziness. It is emotional maturity. It shows that you're no longer driven by fear, but guided by wisdom. 6. You're no longer controlled by your emotions. Most people live their entire lives as prisoners of their emotions. When they feel anger, they erupt. When they feel fear, they freeze. When they feel sadness, they collapse. Their emotions dictate their behavior, their decisions, their reactions, and even their identity. But something in you has changed. Your emotions still rise. You still get upset, disappointed, anxious, or overwhelmed. But now, you don't let these emotions take over your actions. You've created separation, a space, a gap between what you feel and how you behave. This is rare. This is powerful. This is emotional strength at its highest level. You no longer say things in anger that you later regret. You no longer make decisions out of panic. You no longer allow someone else's behavior to dictate your mood. You no longer respond from the first wave of emotion. Instead, you step back. You breathe. You observe. You analyze. You tell yourself, this feeling is temporary. This emotion is not me. This reaction is not necessary. This is what the Stoics called mastery of the inner world. Epictetus taught that the real battle is not with the world, but with our responses to it. And now you're winning that battle. You've started to understand that emotions are signals, not commands. They are information, not instructions. You can feel something deeply without obeying it blindly. That is growth. That is maturity. That is power. And here's the truth. Emotional strength is not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally disciplined. You still feel everything, but nothing controls you the way it used to. Your anger no longer speaks for you. Your sadness no longer blinds you. Your fear no longer holds you hostage. You decide, you choose, you lead yourself. This level of self-regulation is something many people never achieve, but you're beginning to live it, and that's how you know you're becoming stronger. 7. You prioritize boundaries over pleasing people. There was a time when you said yes, even when everything inside you wanted to say no. You allowed people to take your time, your energy, and your kindness simply because you didn't want to disappoint them. You avoided conflict. You softened your truth. You ignored your own needs just to keep others comfortable. But emotional strength has changed you. You've realized that constantly pleasing people doesn't create real connection. It creates resentment, exhaustion, and self-betrayal. So you've started choosing differently. Now you protect your time. Now you say no without explaining your entire life story. Now you set limits and actually enforce them. Now you understand that your boundaries are not a wall, they are a filter that protects your peace. This shift is more powerful than most people realize, because boundaries require courage. They require self-respect. They require the emotional maturity to accept that some people will not like them. And that's okay. You no longer shrink yourself to fit into other people's expectations. You no longer stretch yourself beyond your limits. You no longer apologize for having needs, standards, or self-respect. Stoicism teaches that you must guard your inner world as you would guard a fortress. Epictetus said, "No person is free who is not master of themselves." And setting boundaries is how you claim that mastery. You've learned that. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every request deserves your energy. Not every connection deserves the same level of effort. Not every friendship is meant to last. Not everyone is entitled to your time. You've stopped being available to everything and everyone and started being intentional. This is what emotional strength looks like. Choosing your peace over their approval. Choosing your well-being over their expectations. Choosing your truth over their comfort. And the moment you made that shift, you stopped being a people pleaser and started becoming a person with power. 8. You release what you can't control. One of the biggest signs of emotional strength is not what you hold on to. It's what you finally let go of. There was a time when you tried to control everything: how people behaved, how situations unfolded, how others viewed you, how relationships turned out, how life responded to your efforts. You carried the weight of outcomes that were never yours to carry. You believed that if you tried harder, explained more, gave more, or worried enough, things would turn out the way you wanted. But now, something inside you has softened and strengthened at the same time. You've realized that control is an illusion, and the only thing you truly own is your own mind, your own actions, and your own character. You've learned to release what is not in your hands. You no longer force people to stay. You no longer try to fix someone who doesn't want to change. You no longer fight for outcomes that depend on someone else's choices. You no longer feel responsible for the emotions or expectations of others. You've stopped gripping life so tightly, and in doing so, you've gained peace. Stoicism teaches the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is outside your control, let it go. You gain nothing by holding on." And you have begun to embody that truth. You've stopped overthinking what you cannot change. You've stopped blaming yourself for things that were never your fault. You've stopped replaying situations in your mind that no longer exist. You've stopped trying to control how others feel or respond. Instead, you focus on what is yours, your reactions, your habits, your inner peace, your discipline, your growth, your direction. Releasing what is not yours is not giving up. It is choosing freedom over stress and wisdom over ego. This shift means you're no longer fighting life. You're flowing with it, accepting it, and responding to it from a place of strength, not fear. Letting go is emotional strength. Acceptance is emotional wisdom, and peace is the reward. 9. You've started becoming who you needed when you were younger. There's a moment in life, often quiet, often unnoticed, when you realize you are no longer the person you used to be, and you are becoming the person you always needed. Think about it. Your younger self needed someone calm, someone grounded, someone who could handle emotions without breaking apart, someone who didn't chase people, someone who knew their worth, someone who had boundaries, someone who protected their peace, someone who was patient with life and patient with themselves. And slowly, quietly, steadily, that someone has become you. You didn't get here overnight. You grew through experiences that humbled you, refined you, strengthened you, and softened you. You learned from heartbreak, disappointment, mistakes, loneliness, and silence. You learned from the moments you thought would break you, but instead, they built you. Now, you speak more wisely. Now, you listen more deeply. Now, you move slower, with intention. Now, you respond with clarity instead of fear. Now, you walk away from things that once controlled you. Now, you choose peace over chaos, discipline over distraction, and truth over comfort. These are not random changes. These are signs of becoming emotionally strong. Your younger self needed someone who wouldn't beg for love, wouldn't collapse under pressure, wouldn't be controlled by emotions, wouldn't settle for disrespect, wouldn't fear being alone, wouldn't lose themselves trying to fit in, wouldn't allow the world to break their spirit. And today, without even realizing it, you've become that person, the stronger version of yourself that your past self prayed for. This is the ultimate sign of emotional growth, when you stop trying to be someone you're not and start becoming the person you were meant to be. You are evolving, you are maturing, you are strengthening, you are rising into your own wisdom. Your emotional strength isn't loud, it's not dramatic, it's not a performance. It's shown in the quiet choices, the calm responses, peaceful decisions, and the boundaries you now honor. You're becoming exactly who you needed when you were younger, and that is the clearest, most beautiful sign of emotional strength. Conclusion. Emotional strength doesn't appear all at once. It grows slowly, quietly, in the background of your life. Most people won't notice it. You might not even notice it yourself, until one day you realize you don't react like you used to. You don't chase like you used to. You don't break like you used to. And you're no longer afraid of being alone, misunderstood, or underestimated. You've grown, you've matured, you've evolved into someone calmer, wiser, clearer, and stronger. If even a few of these signs felt familiar, then your transformation has already begun. You are becoming emotionally stronger, not loudly, not dramatically, but in the quiet, disciplined way the Stoics once taught. Keep going. You are becoming the person your past self needed and the person your future self will thank. If this message spoke to you, remember to subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and weekly mindset lessons. Your journey is just beginning.